temperance,
temperantia,
courage,
fortitudo.
applying ancient philosophy to modern life. This is the Sunday Stoic.
Good day, and welcome to the Sunday Stoic podcast, where we discuss the ancient philosophy of Stoicism and how it applies to modern life. Steve has kindly agreed to let me do a solo episode today. Here in the United States, this week we will celebrate Thanksgiving, my favorite holiday of the year. Don't get me wrong, New Year's is also great, but Thanksgiving is the best. It has all the positive aspects of Christmas without the capitalist baggage and potential implications of greed and commercialism. Thanksgiving is a harvest festival, celebrated in the United States and Canada, where the participants are mindful of what they are grateful for, not only in the form of the bountiful feast, which can go on for hours, but also gratitude for our family and friends who share in the feast with us. Our brothers and sisters to the north in Canada celebrated Thanksgiving in mid-October, but I think this episode will still have something they can find useful in it. The concepts and practices I mention in this episode are applicable year-round, and for that matter, not confined to North America. I'm going to touch on some themes of gratitude in Stoicism, and try to show why gratitude is beneficial to our everyday lives. The entirety of Book 1 of the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius is devoted to the people in his life that he felt gratitude toward and why. Book 1 is often overlooked, and that is unfortunate. In addition to learning interesting information about the people in Marcus Aurelius's life, you learn a great deal about what Marcus Aurelius valued by reading Book 1. I think a big part of the motivation to write Book 1 is summed up in a later subsection of the Meditations. Whenever you desire to cheer yourself, think upon the merits of those around you. The energy of one, for instance, the modesty of another, the generosity of a third, of another some other gift. For nothing is so cheering as the images of the virtues shining in the characters of those around you. Therefore you should keep these thoughts ready to your hand. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, Book 6.48. When you think of your friends and loved ones, generic gratitude for community is good as far as it goes, but you're leaving a lot of potential on the table. Like Marcus Aurelius, I think it is better to consider each of your family members and each of your friends, co-workers, and teachers in turn, and contemplate their particular traits that you admire and are thankful for. This will enhance your gratitude for them, as well as help you recognize potential role models for your own character. Sometimes I think about how grateful I am to know Steve. Not only is he a great mentor in Stoicism, he also took the time to teach me the basics of podcasting and brought me on board at the Sunday Stoic. We sometimes have difficulty finding an opportunity to record together, but that is only because he is so devoted to so many other worthy roles in his life. Most importantly, his roles as husband and father, and to his broader family, but also his role as a teacher, which is a time-consuming and demanding profession. When you look for someone as a role model for the fulfillment of social roles, you could do worse than to look to Steve. You can find joy within yourself whenever you like. Cardinal virtues like courage and justice typically require interacting with the outside world and the people in it. On the other hand, gratitude can be brought forth while you are alone, sitting down, lying in bed, or going for a walk. It can be practiced anywhere and at any time. You can cultivate a perspective of gratitude by remembering that the only constant in the universe is change. This flux, flowing like a river, brings people and things into our lives, and the waters of time carry those people and things past us and out of our lives. Everything in our lives ultimately do not belong to us. Everything is on loan to us from the universe, and will be returned to the universe in the fullness of time. You have a choice. You can either be angry, resentful, and grief-stricken when the ever-changing universe takes back what it gave you on loan, or you can be grateful to the cosmos for having afforded you the opportunity to enjoy the people and things in your life for however long you had them. One path leads toward bitterness, and the other toward joy. There is a river of things passing into being, and time is a violent torrent. For no sooner is each thing seen than it has been carried away, and another is being carried by, and that too will be carried away. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, Book 4.43. Remember the law, and keep this before your eyes. What is the law of God? To guard what is your own, not to claim what is another's, to use what is given you, not to long for anything if it be not given. If anything be taken away, to give it up at once and without a struggle, with gratitude for the time you enjoyed it, if you would not cry for your nurse and your mammy. Epictetus, Discourses 2.16.27. Humanity's greatest gift from the universe is our rational faculty. Only one thing is viewed to be our own, and that is our arete, our progress toward moral excellence. Everything else will ultimately be taken from us over the course of our lives. And if you look at it carefully, you will remember that our rational faculty is ultimately also on loan to us for however long we are alive. That too will be returned to the Logos upon our deaths. Grasping at the things around us is foolishness, because the ephemeral nature of life guarantees they will all be lost to us, and that is the path toward anger and bitterness. Man, be not ungrateful, nor again forget higher things. Give thanks to God for sight and hearing, yes, and for life itself, and what is conducive to life, for grain and fruit, for wine and oil. But remember that he has given you another gift, superior to all of these, the faculty which shall use them, test them, and calculate the value of each. For what is it that pronounces on each of these faculties and decides their value? These faculties are ordained as ministers and servants to serve the faculty which deals with impressions. And if you ask what each is worth, whom do you ask? Who answers you? How then can any other faculty be superior to the faculty of reason, which uses the rest as its servants and itself tests each result and pronounces on it? Epictetus, Discourses 2.23.5. Gratitude is a good thing for ourselves, in a sense in which justice, that is commonly supposed to concern other persons, is not. Gratitude returns in large measure unto itself. There is not a man who, when he has benefited his neighbor, has not benefited himself. The reward for all the virtues lies in the virtues themselves, for they are not practiced with a view to recompense. The wages of a good deed is to have done it. Seneca, Letter 81. Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart. This phrase will be echoed by all cities and by all races, even those from savage countries. Upon this point good and bad will agree. Some praise pleasure, some prefer toil. Some say that pain is the greatest of evils. Some say it is no evil at all. Some will include riches in the supreme good. Others will say that their discovery meant harm to the human race, and that none is richer than he to whom fortune has found nothing to give. Amid all this diversity of opinion, all men will yet with one voice vote aye to the proposition that thanks should be returned to those who have deserved well of us. Seneca, Letter 81. When discussing hostile people, I typically use the phrase, "those who view themselves to be my enemy." It's a little clunky as phrases go, but it is a useful reminder to me that there is no obligation on my part to return this sentiment of animosity. Life goes more smoothly for everyone if I am able to prevent someone from falling into the categorization of enemy. Encountering an enemy is just a hop, skip, and a jump to the passion of anger. Reminding yourself that it is they who have the perception of enmity and that you have no obligation to internalize that anger goes a long way to helping you to maintain your cool and behave appropriately in the present moment. The following may be counterintuitive to many people, However, since we are discussing gratitude in a broad sense, it occurs to me that there is room for gratitude even toward those who view themselves to be our enemies. For example, fulfilling our social duties by overcoming difficulties and obstacles speeds our progress toward virtue. If someone presents themselves as a stumbling block, they are providing you with an opportunity to refine your character. Will you respond to this setback with frustration and anger? Or will you find a way to fulfill your social duty while maintaining your equanimity and keeping your faculty of choice in accord with nature? Further, those who view themselves to be our enemies can provide us with vital insight into our faults. Our friends forgive our faults and don't bring them to our attention because they do not want to upset us. Those who view themselves to be our enemies, on the other hand, will gleefully point out all your shortcomings. When this happens, take the opportunity to evaluate whether there is any truth in their claims. Sometimes they are way off base, but sometimes their views can be valuable to listen to and evaluate. We are all the heroes of our own story. We are often blind to our own faults, and those who view themselves to be our enemies do us good service by bringing our faults to our attention, so that we have an opportunity to rectify them and improve ourselves. When someone brings an accurate fault to our attention, we should be grateful to them. The Stoics were determinists and believed in divine providence. Events unfold according to an inexorable web of causation. Hence, it is foolish to pray for the divine logos to manipulate events of the universe to suit our whims and preferences. The logos would not change external events, even if the logos had the ability to do so, which the logos does not. Consequently, prayer is not a terribly common theme in Stoicism. That said, the ancient Stoics were a very pious group of people, constantly mindful of their place in the cosmos and their relationship to the divine logos. One way the ancient Stoics showed their devotion was by learning to accept, or ideally even love, the events of the universe, even the events we would prefer not happen. Stoics often used metaphors for human life. Sometimes we are dogs leashed to an ox cart driven by Zeus. Sometimes we are players on the stage. But one metaphor I particularly like is the idea that life is like a festival. The different people participating in the festival have different roles to play, but the philosopher is called upon to observe the festival, its functioning, and to enjoy the festival for however long we are there, and be grateful when we depart the festival of life. Now it is thy will for me to leave the festival. I go, giving all thanks to thee, that thou didst deign to let me share thy festival, and see thy works, and understand thy government. May these be my thoughts, these my studies, when death comes upon me. Epictetus, Discourses 3.5.10. Arguably, the best prayer of gratitude found in Stoicism is the Hymn to Zeus by Cleanthes, the second head of the Stoic school. The Hymn to Zeus is beautiful, and I highly recommend researching it. And one final reminder that all the people and things in our lives are only on loan from nature, and that we should be ever mindful of the ephemeral nature of life, so we can remember to appreciate and be grateful in the present moment for everyone and everything in our lives. Nature, in that thou did beget me, I am grateful, and grateful for thy gifts. In so far as I have used what thou gave to me, I am satisfied. Take thy gifts back again, and place them where thou wilt, for they were all thine. Epictetus, Discourses 4.10.16. Gratitude can be practiced anywhere and at any time, but I find it is a good thing to implement during the morning and evening meditation, and also while walking. There is nothing more conducive to philosophy than walking, except walking in the company of a fellow practitioner of philosophy. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please send us an email at sundaystoic@gmail.com. If you enjoy our podcast, Please subscribe and leave us a review on whatever platform you use to listen to us. Your feedback helps us to reach new audience members and build the podcast. We look forward to releasing a new episode next week, fate permitting. And as Steve always says, Carpe Diem!